I got my German citizenship in 4 months, start to finish. Confirmation of receipt came in January. Citizenship certificate was in my hands by April. The official processing time in most cities ranges from 2 to 4 years. Either I got extremely lucky or there's a system most people don't know about. So I'm going to walk you through everything. What the law requires, what speeds things up, what slows them down, and exactly what I did. First things first, how long do you need to be here before you can even apply? 5 years of legal residency. If you're married to a German citizen, it drops to 3 years. But you also need to have been married for at least 2 of those years. You can't move here in 2026, marry a German in 2028, and apply in 2029. Someone once asked me if being a student counts towards the 5 years. The answer is yes. 2 years on a student visa plus 3 years on a blue card or work permit, and you are eligible. The clock doesn't reset when you switch permit types. As long as you've been here legally the whole time, every day counts. I was resident in Germany for 7 years before getting my citizenship. 5 of those years on a student visa with one maternity leave in between. I could have applied 2 years earlier when the citizenship laws changed, but I wasn't ready. And that brings me to something most people miss. You cannot apply while you're still on a student residence permit. You need to finish your studies and transition to a qualifying permit first. Permanent residence, an EU blue card, or a work permit that can lead to permanent residence. Also, one more thing. If you left Germany for several months or more, they might restart the clock from when you return. All right, residency is just the entry ticket. Now, let me show you what keeps people stuck. Language. You need at least a B1 German certificate. If you apply without one, your application gets rejected outright. They won't even look at the rest of your documents. The only exception is for people from the guest worker generation. They just need to communicate in German with the authorities during the process. This was the requirement that held me back when I first became eligible. Last year, I decided to study for the exam by myself with no classes, no language school, just self-study. And I passed in exactly 1 month. If you want to know exactly how I did it, I break down my entire system in this video right here. Watch it after this one and it will save you months. Next up, the citizenship test. 33 questions covering politics, history, culture, all of it. You need 17 correct answers to pass. There are plenty of apps to prepare. I took this exam last year too and got a perfect score. Now, financial stability. This one is not as straightforward as it sounds because there's no fixed income number. What they're looking at is simple. Can you support yourself without state benefits? If your income covers your rent, your bills, your dependents, you're generally fine. But here's where people get tripped up. If you've claimed long-term unemployment benefits, specifically Bürgergeld or Wohngeld, you might be disqualified. If you are currently on Arbeitslosengeld, which is unemployment insurance, they might put your application on hold until you are employed and through your probation period. One exception worth knowing: if you claimed benefits in the past, but you have worked full-time for at least 20 of the last 24 months, you are back in the game. Criminal record, you need it to be clean. Minor stuff like speeding tickets is probably fine, but a custodial sentence of more than 90 days or any serious or violent offense, that's almost certainly a denial. Repeat offenders especially. And this next one surprises people. Commitment to democratic values. You formally commit to Germany's free democratic basic order, and that includes the protection of Jewish life. So posting, sharing, or even liking content with banned slogans can bar you from citizenship. This isn't theory. They check online and offline. So you meet all the requirements. Now comes the part that can make or break your timeline. Immigration authorities can be painfully slow. Wait times in major cities range from 2 years to over 4 years, but some people still get approved in a month, even in busy offices like Munich. The difference is in how organized your application is. Think about it. If you were a caseworker with 500 files on your desk, which one are you opening first? The one with a numbered index and a cover letter, or the one with upside down photos and random documents thrown together? Here's exactly what I did and what you should do. Number one, don't submit until everything is ready. Missing documents can cause delays you cannot undo. One missing paper can push you back months. Number two, write a cover letter. Explain anything unusual, gaps in employment, children with different last names, anything a caseworker might question. Don't make them guess. Make it easy for them to say yes. Number three, number your documents. Write a number on each document. List every document with its number in the cover letter and arrange them in that exact order. I'm serious. This alone can shave weeks of your wait time. Number four, scan everything neatly. Let it be legible, right side up. If you're applying online, label your PDFs clearly and save multiple page documents as single files. No caseworker wants to open 7 separate PDF files for one document. This isn't complicated, it's just organized. And it can truly shave months off your timeline. Now, here's something most people don't know exists, and is the closest thing to a fast forward button. If your application is just sitting there for months with no response, Germany has something called an Untätigkeitsklage, a lawsuit for failure to act. If the authorities haven't processed your application within the legally required time frame, you can take legal action to force them to move. This sounds aggressive, and it kind of is, but it works. The mere filing of an Untätigkeitsklage often gets your file pulled from the bottom of the stack. I'm not saying go sue the government on day one, but if you've been waiting way beyond reasonable processing times, this is a real option that exists. I didn't need it. My case was handled very quickly, but you should know it's there. Let me cover a few situations that might apply to you. Citizenship by descent. This is the fastest route if you qualify. If either of your parents was a German citizen, you might be eligible without ever living in Germany. But there are catches. If your parents were unmarried and only your father is a German, he needs to have formally recognized paternity under German law. And if you were born outside Germany after January 1st, 2000, your birth had to be reported to a German mission abroad before your first birthday. If your parents missed that deadline, you might be out of luck. For children born in Germany to non-German parents, if one parent has lived here for 5 years and has permanent residency, the child gets German citizenship at birth. If the parents don't meet that yet, the child can still become German when they turn 5, as long as they've lived here with a legally resident parent the whole time. And dual citizenship, this used to be restricted to EU and Swiss citizens. But the 2024 reform changed everything. Non-EU nationals can keep their original passport. Wherever you're from, you don't have to give up your home citizenship anymore. Look, the citizenship process in Germany can feel overwhelming. There's paperwork waiting and rules that are not always obvious. Nobody hands you a manual, but if you understand what they're looking for, how to present your application, and what to avoid, it becomes a lot more manageable. I went from application to certificate in 4 months, not because I'm special, because I showed up organized. If this helped you, subscribe and share it with someone who's also going through this. Let me know in the comments where you are in your citizenship journey. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Bye.